This could be useful. Looks like a script. Sure is heavy. Ugh, what a mess. It's locked.
Hello? Is anyone in there?
Who is that?
This is Eric from the New York Review. We came down here to do an interview about...
The New York Review?
Yes?
You wouldn't know Nat Florenti, would you?
Of course! Natalie, we're good friends.
Please tell her Harold Morley of the New York Footlamps kindly requests she die in a fire.
What? What did old Natalie do?
She wrote a scathing review of my first play. Scathing. She got personal, took it well from the realm of fair play. What does my personal hygiene have to do with the performance, I ask you?
Perhaps it was a metaphor.
Maybe she was sitting in the front row.
Frank, shh.
She is banned forever from the Crescent. Never again will I allow her to sully the audience with her clean teeth and dirty opinions. If enough people read her review, my career is doomed. Forever typecast as a misanthrope with halitosis. Now, if you don't mind, I have to prepare for the dress rehearsal. I'm expecting my cue at any minute.
Your cue? What are you talking about? There's nobody out here.
Oh, don't play games with me, Mr. Nat Florenti's best friend. I intend to practice non-stop. Stanislavski would be proud.
Yes, but...
Nope.
Mr. Morley, what you don't...
Yep.
What I'm trying to say is, this guy's a nut.
You're telling me.
We've got to get him to come out of there.
How?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Ugh, what a mess. I don't think anyone will miss this.
Yea, thou chargest me to speaketh. Speaketh I shall, and ye shall listeneth. 'Cause I got a whole lot to say.
Oh boy. Mr. Morley, we don't actually work for the New York Review. We're here for a different and more important reason.
Felony theft.
That's debatable. What exactly are you talking about?
We're here investigating a theft that took place in Bayport.
Bayport? Never heard of it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we followed our chief suspect here, a Mr...
Hold on a minute. You boys don't look like cops.
We aren't cops.
You could say that again. One of you needs a mustache and a potbelly. Which one is the wisecracking nonconformist, and which one of you is the play-by-the-rules ladder climber with a heart of gold?
What is he talking about?
I guess there is a bit of genius in this casting. Completely against type. Okay, I'll play along. What can I do for you, officers?
We aren't cops.
Ah, undercover. I get it. Okay, what can I do for you, Johnny Everyman?
We have some questions for you. Mind if we ask you a few more questions?
No problem.
Have you heard anything recently about a rather large theft in Bayport?
Pardon me. I live in New York City. If it didn't happen here, it wouldn't register with me. No offense.
None taken. So that's a no.
That's a no.
Have you heard of a man named Dougal Seep?
Of course I have. I went to high school with his son.
Pardon me?
I went to high school with his son, Richard.
Richard Llewellyn?
Yeah, Rich. Wait a minute. Are you guys here about the accident? I didn't see it happen.
What accident?
Rich got hit by a car earlier this evening. The hospital called me looking for his dad. I gave them his number, and after my rehearsal's over, I'm heading over there to see how he's doing. I'd go over earlier, but they told me he was stable.
What hospital is he in?
St. Ambrose. It's not far from here.
We've got to go.
Well, okay. Maybe I'll see you over there in a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess that explains Seep's conflict of interest.
And the matching blood type.
Let's get moving.
Right. We'll talk to you later.
Give my regards to Nat.
Quite a night, isn't it?
I'll say. I'm surprised we aren't busier in here. As a rule, I'm not supposed to be in here myself. My post is out front. But it's so cold out, and there's really not much activity here, so I figured, what the hey?
So you could get in trouble for being in here? That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah. Usually I make a nice warm drink and I'm fine. But the hot cocoa machine is on the fritz, again.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
Hi.
You hurt?
No, I was just wondering.
Sorry. If you aren't injured, I really don't have time for you. I have to finish this page.
What are you doing? Crosswords?
No, one of the doctors gave this to me. It's a puzzle book. Apparently he uses it to kill time between calls. and he asked if I could try my hand at one that he's having trouble solving. He thinks he's so great, if I could solve one that he couldn't, he'll never live it down. I'll make sure of it.
Could I take a look at it?
You did it! Wait till I tell Dr. Casper. Oh, solving puzzles is hard. Think I'll watch little TV, take a break.
You deserve it. I was wondering if I could ask you a couple of questions.
Kinda busy here, make it fast.
Okay. We're here to see a patient. Richard Llewellyn?
Let me check. Llewellyn. You family?
No, we're close friends of his father's.
Sorry, Mr. Llewellyn is in the ICU. He can't have any visitors at all.
Then why did you bother asking if we were family?
If you were family, I'd be able to tell you that he's in critical condition. Oh, there I go again. Think first, then speak.
What do you know about the security guard here?
What? Victor? He's such a gentleman. Took me to dinner once, and the waiter gave me a dirty look when I asked for a fourth refill on my spritzer, and Victor grabbed him by the collar and threatened his unborn children if he ever looked at me that way again.
Ah, how very gentlemanly.
Isn't it, though?
What are you watching?
ER.
Figures. Talk to you later.
Be safe. Hey, authorized personnel only back there.
Oops. Sorry. I don't think anyone will miss this. I'll just borrow it. Okay, let's see. I'll get a chocolate bar. I got a glass of hot water from the machine. Aha! Pretty clever if I do say so myself.
I made you some hot cocoa.
Wow, that's awfully nice of you. How'd you manage to do it?
Bribes and kickbacks.
No one appreciates a guarded response more than I. Thanks, fella.
No problem.
Guess I'd better head back to my post.
Guess so.
Is this Richard Llewellyn's room?
Uh-huh.
We need to see him.
Sorry, orders. Only Dr. Casper is allowed in. This is ICU. You can't just barge into people's rooms, you know.
I don't think he's in the mood to talk at the moment. I don't think anyone will miss this. The locker is, well, locked. This could be useful.
What the? Why? Why would someone do that? I just don't understand.
Are you Richard Llewellyn?
Yes,
You don't look so good.
I don't feel so good.
Do you know why we're here?
I can guess.
Are you the thief?
You could say that.
How did you get into the safe?
I lived in an abandoned building for some time, waiting for my opportunity to strike. I wasn't even entirely sure what I was going to do. I just knew I had to do something to get back at him.
Why? That's taking a pretty big risk.
You must not know the man very well to ask me that.
How did you get into the safe?
One day, I was patrolling the grounds and I stumbled upon a piece of paper with a combination written on it. I knew he had a safe and I figured he must have just changed the combination. I couldn't risk him changing it again. So I broke in that night. I broke the window to test the alarm. When it didn't go off, I picked the lock to the front door.
You can pick locks?
It's a skill that comes in handy in my line of work.
So what did you do with the bonds?
I see you don't quite understand the depth of what's going on here.
Tell us.
You need to search the house. The treasure is in the house. I put it there myself.
Where? Where did you put it?
Could you get me a glass of water? I'm parched, and this story may take a while.
Sure. He doesn't look too good, that's for sure.
That doesn't mean he's innocent.
I know that. What do you think he means by searching the house?
I guess he hid the bearer bonds in the house. Kind of a strange thing to do.
Yeah, but then again, this guy is a little strange. Okay, so we go back to the house, turn it upside down, find the bonds, and we get a happy ending for everybody.
Maybe not everybody.
Nurse, get a crash cart in here, stat!
1 minute you're here and the next, poof.
I don't think it's appropriate to be so flippant about it, Joe.
I'm not being flippant. It's scary. Mr. Seep.
Leave him alone, Joe. We've got to get back. There's nothing else we can do here.
I suppose so. I just feel bad for the guy. So tomorrow morning we go back to the house and ransack it like nobody's business. Is that right?
Well, I don't know about that. But at the very least, we tell Mr. Spencer that we caught the thief. I'm sure he'll give us access to whatever we need.
Should we tell the police?
All in due time. The danger's over. The thief is caught. Well, the thief is no longer a concern for the purposes of this case. We might as well make sure we have all our ducks in a row before we blab to anyone.
You're right. You're always right, Frank. Say, you think Mom's still mad about yesterday?
Boys, before you leave, if I could have a word.
Morning, Dad.
Morning, Dad.
Morning, boys. How's the case going?
Well, we found the thief, but unfortunately he was hit by a car and passed away shortly after. We didn't get much information out of him, but he told us that we needed to look deeper into the whole thing.
Men on their deathbed rarely lie, boys.
Yeah, we figured. We're gonna head back to Spencer Mansion and see if we can uncover anything else in a few minutes. The victim, Samuel Spencer, is a bit of a grouch.
You're telling me. I had more than one run-in with Mr. Spencer when I was on the force. He struck me as a dishonest and greedy man. Please be careful when dealing with him.
We will.
How do you mean dishonest? Did he lie to you about anything?
Well, he told me he was born in Oakwood, which is a small town in New Jersey, which wasn't true. He was actually born at Spencer Mansion, before it was actually called Spencer Mansion.
What? Well, what was it before Spencer Mansion?
Ingram Sanitarium. Now don't get that look. It wasn't for the criminally insane or anything. It was just a place for people who needed some help getting themselves back on track.
This is news to us.
I don't think he likes talking about the past much.
Okay, well, thanks, Dad. Talk to you later.
Be careful, boys. Hold on a minute. We need to talk about your mother.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she's still steaming about yesterday. I tried to smooth things over, but I could use a little help.
What can we do?
Well, one thing you could do is make her favorite breakfast. I'm sure she'll be calmer and more reasonable on a full stomach.
Seriously? Oh, we're in the middle of a case here.
Now, boys, don't be like that. If there's one thing I learned from my years on the force, it was that you have to balance your personal and professional lives, or you'll be in danger of losing both.
Fine.
That's the spirit.
Mom's favorite French toast. Ah, yes, the perfect antidote to poor behavior. I'll just borrow it. This could be useful. This could be useful. I don't think anyone will miss this. I'll just borrow it. That seems like the right amount. Smells great. I'll just take this. Could come in handy. I'll just take this. Could come in handy. Voila! A perfect slice of French toast. I'll just take this. Could come in handy.
I smell French toast.
It's actually forgiveness toast.
Well, then it better be good.
The boys worked pretty hard at it. I saw them myself.
Yes, well, no offense, dear, but you're always rushing to their defense. I will admit it smells pretty good, though.
We're sorry, Mom.
Your father explained the situation to me. I don't believe a word he said, but you are forgiven.
That's my sugar muffin.
Could you guys hold off on the affection until we leave?
Fine by me. I have a plate of French toast to ravage before I can get to ravaging your father.
Ew, Mom.
Be careful, boys.
Look who's here, the inept boy detectives.
Good morning, Mr. Spencer.
Nothing good about it. My beautiful automobile was vandalized yesterday. I was almost stranded on my evening drive. Unacceptable.
Oh, ooh, that's a shame. Really.
I want that vandal brought to justice. I want vengeance. That car means more to me than most of my relatives.
Don't you want to know what we've uncovered about the theft?
Fine.
We found the thief.
You did? Who? Where?
His name was Richard Llewellyn.
Was?
He died last night, hit by a car in Manhattan.
Serves him right. Where are the bonds?
He didn't have the bonds.
Yeah, of course. He probably hid them somewhere they will never be found. Oh well, I suppose there's nothing to it but to contact the insurance company. At least I'll get a percentage of what they were worth.
Wait, we aren't finished with the investigation.
But you just said you found the thief.
Well, yes, but it isn't that simple.
Pish-posh. Life is simple until you make it complicated. He is the thief. He is dead. Sad and unfortunate, but surely he got what he deserved. Thank you for your help, boys.
Wait!
Wait, what? It's over. Finito. Done.
We still want to tie up a few loose ends.
Very well, but try to do it without disturbing me.
What exactly happened to your car?
Someone punctured the coolant tank. Luckily, these old cars have an oversized reservoir, or I would have certainly been stranded.
Mr. Spencer, if you don't mind me asking, where were you born?
What possible bearing could that have had on either the car or the case, pray tell?
None. Just curious.
Well, not that it's any of your business, but I was born in Summer Park in Virginia.
Really?
Yes, really.
We'll speak again later, Mr. Spencer.
I don't recall seeing that dent before. I'll just borrow it. Hi again, Mr. Spencer.
Hello. How goes the investigation?
Well, we found the thief. His name was Richard Llewellyn. He got hit by a car last night and passed away.
Oh, dear. Did you get a chance to speak to him before he passed?
Not much. Can we ask you some questions? Richard admitted to the theft when we spoke with him, but he also mentioned that we should search the house for the bonds. He said he hid them there. Do you know of any good hiding places on the grounds?
The whole house is a hiding place. I haven't the foggiest idea where you could even start.
Is Mary around?
I haven't seen her yet this morning. She often wakes up long before I do and meanders the grounds before the sun gets too high.
How is Lily doing today?
She seemed in good spirits this morning. She went to Mugshots, the coffee shop downtown. Knowing her, she'll be there most of the day reading.
Oh, well, maybe we'll drop by. Say hello.
Maybe, huh?
Where were you and Mr. Spencer born?
Why do you need to know that?
I guess we don't need to know, but we've encountered resistance whenever we ask Mr. Samuel Spencer about his past. And honestly, we're just trying to get to the truth.
I don't feel comfortable disclosing information about my brother. His past is his to share or hide.
The same brother who was so eager to send you up the river just a few hours ago?
Look, my brother and I had a rocky childhood. If you promise not to tell him I told you.
Promise.
We were both born here.
What, in Bayport?
No, here, at this house, the nurse's station specifically.
Are you joking?
No, before this place was a private residence, it was an asylum.
Yeah, we found out about that.
Our father was the superintendent, Orrin Ingram Spencer. He founded and ran the hospital.
Why would Samuel care if we, or anyone for that matter, knew he was born here?
I think he's ashamed. The hospital failed. There was a fire that shut the whole place down. My father never fully recovered from the blow, and apparently neither did Sam.
We'll speak again later, Mr. Spencer.
Frank?
Look over there.
What? Is that who I think it is?
Shh, don't let her see you.
Someone's gotta... Why would she...
I don't know. Let's go see what she was doing over there.
Mrs. Spencer, may we speak with you?
Of course, dear.
We found the thief. His name was Richard Llewellyn. He was killed yesterday, but at least that's settled.
Is it?
Do you know where Lily is?
I believe she went off to that coffee shop she frequents. It's called Mugshots, I believe.
Are you okay?
Whatever do you mean?
We saw you. At the nurse's station. You looked upset.
Oh, it must have been my allergies. The pollen count is extremely high this time of year.
Does this flower belong to you?
What? Where?
We found it just outside the nurse's station.
Why did you take it? It belongs there.
Mrs. Spencer, what exactly is going on?
Dear, could you please make me some tea? This thief...
Richard.
Yes, Richard was my only son.
Your son? Richard was Samuel Spencer's nephew? That's quite a coincidence.
It isn't coincidence at all.
How do you mean?
I've known the Spencers all my life.
Now I'm confused.
Let me start from the beginning.
Yes, please.
My mother and father met while my father was interning at a small hospital. My mother was the head nurse, and they fell madly in love. When my father got the opportunity to be the staff physician at a nearby mental hospital, my mother came with him.
Ingram Asylum.
Yes, I was actually born on these very grounds. Ingram was a wonderful hospital, revolutionary for its time. Patients were treated more like guests. It was truly a place of healing. My parents lived on the grounds, and most other parents were reluctant to let their kids play near here. They called me Scary Mary, and I wasn't even a patient, so you can imagine how cruel they could be. My friends were usually children of the staff or sometimes the patients.
Dougal Seep.
Oh, yes, I met him when we were both about 15. We were best friends. And then the fire.
The fire that closed down the asylum?
Yes, the west wing went up like a tinder. I wasn't anywhere near the fire, but both of my parents.
They both died.
Dougal told me. I kept hitting him, and he just held me. After a while, Dougal and I grew apart, but I always felt connected to him somehow. A few years later, we ran into each other again, and, well, Richard was the result.
But why would Richard want to steal from his own uncle?
I am afraid that's my fault.
Your fault? How?
The fire that killed my parents was no accident. It was caused by a single match lit by an angry and bitter young man.
Samuel.
Samuel. I've never forgiven him, and neither did my own son.
Wait a minute. Why didn't Samuel tell us any of this?
The fire was ruled an accident, but I know it wasn't. The last thing he wants is for that investigation to reopen. That's why he bought the mansion for a song from the government after the hospital closed. To be sure the truth was never learned. And there may be another reason.
Do tell.
He doesn't know who I am, and neither does Thomas.
What? How can that be?
People change quite a lot. I hadn't seen the Spencers since I was 15, remember? I didn't see Thomas again for many, many years. I changed my name, I changed my hair.
Mrs. Spencer, do you love Thomas?
Yes, I do, now. But you're right in suspecting that this was all a plan to get back at Samuel. It was. After I fell in love with Thomas, I tried to get Richard to let it go. But he was even angrier at Samuel than I was. I even convinced Dougal to come visit him here, to try and talk him out of it. But it didn't work. The night before the theft, he gave me this confession. It's cryptic and frightening, not like Richard at all.
Aha! So that's why Dougal was in town.
He's a good man, and so was Richard. If he hadn't lived with my hate for so long, he wouldn't have done what he did. If anyone is to blame, it's me.
Or Samuel.
I don't even care about that anymore. I'm happy here. I love Thomas. Thomas loves Lily. I just want this whole thing to be over with. It isn't worth anything. First my parents, then my only son.
How's your tea, dear? Are you all right?
Thank you, Thomas. Boys, would you excuse Thomas and I? We have some things to talk about.
Of course. Thank you, Mrs. Spencer. Mr. Spencer?
Hey, Chet.
Hey, Frank, Joe, how you guys doing?
Not bad at all. I like your haircut.
Yeah, Mr. Russo has a way with shears.
Do you know where your sister is? She's not at the science lab.
Home, maybe?
Do you think you could do us a favor, Chet?
Of course. Name it.
Could you run home and ask her to meet us back at the school science lab? We have a few more tests we need her to run.
Oh, yeah, you're working on that Spencer case, right? That guy has a sweet car.
Yep. It's full of surprises.
Okay, I'm finished here anyway. You guys are still coming over next weekend, right?
Wouldn't miss it, Chet.
Cool. Okay, I'll catch you later.
Thanks, Chet. Bye. Hi, Lily. What are you doing?
Hi, boys. I'm just reading. Nothing important. What's going on?
Can we talk to you for a minute?
Of course.
Your mother told me about her parents. And your brother.
Whatever do you mean?
She told us it's okay. We know about Richard and Dougal.
She told you? Oh, thank God. I can't stand this game she had me play. I felt so guilty every time I hugged Thomas, knowing I was keeping a secret from him. I love him. He really has been a father to me.
It's okay. We want to help.
Whatever I can do, just ask.
Can we take a look at your locket?
Well, yes, but I can't let you take it. Richard gave it to me. It means a lot.
Of course. No, we want to look at it for a moment. Thank you, Lily. Hey, Lily. Sorry to bother you again, but could we ask you a few things?
Sure.
When we spoke to Richard, he talked about searching Spencer Mansion. Do you know any way in besides the front door?
Yes. I know he used to get in through a side entrance. The west side. There's a door behind some overgrown shrubs.
So, Chet told me you guys had further need of my services.
Thanks for coming, Iola. You helped us so much yesterday. We just have one little thing we need you to look at.
It's no problem. To be honest, I feel just as at home in the lab as I do in a home.
Can you take a look at this?
A piece of fabric. What am I looking for?
Anything.
Looks like there might be some blood on it. Let me take a closer look. At least now we have all the supplies we need. Thanks to you two. It's blood, all right. Not only that, it's AB negative blood.
Richard and Dougal's blood type.
Where did you say you found this?
Oh, thanks, Iola. I can't tell you how much we appreciate this.
Yeah. Do you need me anymore?
No, that should do it. Thanks again.
No problem. I'm gonna go eat.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
What you doing, Phil?
My socks are too tight.
Doesn't really answer my question.
I'm pulling out some of the elastics. Loosen up a bit, you know?
Won't they just fall down?
What happened to shades of gray? Must it always be too tight or falling down? What about just right?
Pretty springy elastics you got there.
Gold toe socks. Wouldn't stick my foot in anything else.
Still working on your socks, I see.
It's an unappreciated art.
Can I take one of those elastics?
Sure. Suddenly I'm not the nutty one. Thanks.
Well, I'll leave you to tricking out your socks.
Later.
I can't open it. The timing belt is now sticking out of the teller window. It looks like a key, but I can't reach it. Aha! Pretty clever if I do say so myself. Got it! Whoever said sock elastic was useless. Nobody, that's who. And they were right. We can't just wander around in here without knowing what we're doing. Considering the condition of this building, that would be far too dangerous. It's locked. Wall just collapsed when I touched it. That scares me a bit. Don't lean on any supporting walls. It's a small alcove. Whoever was in here must have used it as a hiding spot. The Hardys overcome yet again. Aha! Pretty clever if I do say so myself.
To whom it may concern, I cannot continue this sham. I have borne the secret for far, far too long. As a cowardly compromise, the kind I have dealt with my entire life, I've decided to put to paper this confessional with the hopes that some small portion of guilt will lift from me in the exercise. If that does not work, I may take steps to have this missive end up in hands other than my own. June 17th, 1962 was a day that I will never forget. The previous evening I had punished Samuel, the culmination of several incidents wherein he tormented one of our patients, young Dougal. Perhaps I was too strict in my punishment. Perhaps I was too lenient. I confined him to his room for 1 week. The following morning, the fire began. I went to Samuel's room shortly after I smelled smoke in the west wing. When I arrived, he was climbing into his bedroom from the window, and his vindictive smile, as well as the smell of turpentine, told me all I needed to know. He did not see me, and when I presented myself to him, I could tell he wondered whether or not I had him pegged. The feigned concern and worry he showed when I informed him of what he already knew ended all my hope as a parent for his soul. A fire! Oh no, what of the patients? It made my stomach sick to hear him patronize me so. I know he hated his life here, hated the fact that all my and Victoria's time was taken up caring for children that were not our own. I know I must assume at least some responsibility for the monster created. I spent my life trying to help the mentally ill become well, but in my neglect, I have failed my own son, the well-made ill. Perhaps with time Samuel will become a man who wishes to atone. Perhaps he will forgive his mother and me and make the most of his life. Whatever happens, the lives of those who died on that summer day are irrevocable, and I must live with that. With great regret, Orrin Ingram Spencer.
I'll just take this. Could come in handy. I'll just borrow it. This could be useful. It looks like a turnpike stub.
Good morning, Chief.
Hey, boys. How are my two deputies doing?
Pretty good. We figured out quite a bit, but we could use some help filling in the blanks.
That's what I'm here for.
What do you know about Ingram Asylum?
Well, I know it closed down nearly 50 years ago after a fire raged through one of the wings. Killed quite a few people, if I remember right.
What was the cause of the fire?
I may look it, but truth is, I wasn't around when that went down. I don't remember what the cause was, but I know that a criminal investigation was never opened.
Do you know who died?
I haven't read about it in a long time. Some staff, maybe a couple of patients. Terrible tragedy.
We found the thief.
You did? Who is he? Where is he?
He was hit by a car and died last night at St. Ambrose Hospital in Manhattan.
Oh, that's awful. Being a thief doesn't warrant that. Terrible.
Chief Collick, we have more evidence for you on Samuel Spencer.
What do you got for me?
Mary Spencer told us that he started the fire at Ingram Asylum all those years ago.
Why would she tell you a thing like that? Odd. Well, look, I'm no fan of Samuel Spencer myself, but we'd need hard evidence to even open a case on him. Biased testimony just isn't gonna cut it in court.
We have a letter written by Samuel's father, Orrin Spencer, confessing that he covered up the arson to protect his son.
Really? Let me see that. Oh, very interesting. Now, this merits some paperwork. This may take some time. If you find anything else, please let me know.
But his luck has just run out?
They were apparently lost in the fire. The safe didn't have any bonds in it at all.
Let me take a look at that. Good work, boys. Well, let me write this up. Very incriminating stuff. Now, this may take me a while. Let me know if you find anything else.
We have a piece of fabric we got from the bumper of Samuel's car. A blood stain on it matches Richard Llewellyn's blood type, which is incredibly rare.
You think old Sammy hit and killed Richard?
Yes, we do.
Serious charges. Now, let me write it up. Let me know if you find any more evidence, okay, boys?
We have a turnpike stub that proves Samuel was in New York City last night, where Richard was struck and killed.
Well, New York City is a big place, you know. That's hardly conclusive. You know, I was about to tell you boys to try and find more on this guy, but this is making me furious. All this evidence together is more than enough to put him away for a long, long time. Oh, good work, boys. Old man Spencer's been lucky for far too long.
But his luck has just run out?
I thought about saying that for a moment, but the urge passed. Just as well, it sounded pretty darn silly. Let's go.
He's in his car. I don't think he's gonna stick around for questioning.
Quick, back in the car.
Man, that is one powerful automobile.
We're following kind of close, aren't we?
Do you boys have your seatbelts on?
Wait just a minute. Didn't we cut the timing belt out of Mr. Spencer's car? How come it's still running?
You piece of junk! You don't have to cooperate, Mr. Spencer. We don't need a confession. We already have all the evidence we need. Oh, I'd love to hear this. Let me guess. Click and Clack back here helped you. Well, I'd say they did more than helped. They cracked the case wide open. In fact, perhaps they'd rather explain just how much hot water you are actually in.
Sure, Chief. When Richard broke into your safe, you weren't worried about losing the bearer bonds, because those burnt up in the fire years ago. What you were worried about was your father's confession, which has been in that safe for who knows how long.
You were afraid Richard was going to blackmail you, which he very well might have been planning to do. In fact, I'm guessing he called you and told you that very thing.
So you found out where he lived,
Drove up in your precious Crown Vic,
and killed him.
killing two birds with one stone, if you'll forgive the expression. With Richard dead, you could blame him for your missing bearer bonds, collect insurance on them, and you wouldn't have to worry about anyone spilling the beans about your arsenic ban.
But although you might have known Richard was your childhood nemesis, Dougal Seep's son,
what you didn't realize was that your sister-in-law, Mary, was Richard's mother.
Mary? Mary?
That's right. She married your brother intending to get back at you for starting the fire that killed her parents. You might remember her as Mary Llewellyn.
Scary Mary? My sister-in-law is Scary Mary?
Yep. One of the many patients at Ingram Asylum that you tormented as a boy.
So not only did you commit murder,
you committed both arson and fraud. And you're a bully, for good measure. The true irony of all this is that your motive for going on this little crime spree doesn't even actually exist.
What do you mean?
The fire. You did all of this because you were afraid the Ingram fire would be traced back to you. But even if it were, you were underage at the time. You couldn't be charged.
You spent so long covering up that fire that you would have done anything to keep it that way. You must have felt really guilty.
Of course I felt guilty. I was a stupid kid. Unfortunately, that doesn't exonerate you from your actions of the past few days. We have physical evidence that your car struck Richard Llewellyn. We have physical evidence that you were in the New York area last night. We have your father's confession, and we have your correspondence with your lawyers discussing your intent to fraudulently file an insurance claim. Care to add anything? I want to talk to my lawyer. Smartest thing you've said all day.
Well, the boys were kind enough to come and see how we were doing. My Thomas is very understanding.
You've been through so much, Mary. I'm just sorry it had to happen at all.
Richard was a very troubled boy, but he never hurt a soul. He really was the apple of his father's eye.
It's a shame.
Where is Dougal? Or Mr. Seep, anyway?
He's coming to town tomorrow. He's made arrangements.
Just need to pick up the pieces and move on, I guess.
I'm really sorry. I wish we could have helped more.
I don't know if that would have been possible. Without you boys, we'd still be in the dark about my brother. I still can't believe it.
What are you going to do now?
Well, we'll sell the house, of course. I just don't think the memories attached to this place are conducive to a happy life. For either of us.
As long as we're together, I don't care where we go.
Well, yes.
How far? I mean, where to? I mean, you're moving somewhere close by, right?
Well, can't imagine leaving Bayport. Can you, honey?
Not at all. And I'm sure Lily would be very, very upset if we left.
Mom!
Well, it's true. You told me that yourself.
I did not.
Oh, dear. Don't be embarrassed.
Mom!
Like a bullet from a gun, she arrived on the scene. A young detective who doesn't know the meaning of peace.